Welcome everybody! Today I'm going to be doing a playthrough of this awesome game here, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Change is Constant. It's by IDW Games and it's an Adventures Universal Game System game. Sit back and enjoy. So the scenarios are contained inside these awesome little comics here. We're going to start with Adventure Comic Part 1. And scenario, Something Stinks. While out for a night on patrol, the Turtles notice something fishy in the subway station. They head to investigate and find Alopex and the Foot Ninja doing a training session with some local thugs. They have to break it up. So the awesome ninja fighting team of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Leonardo, Raphael, Donatello, and Michelangelo, they're going to win this scenario if they can KO Alopex, which is that white fox ninja there. Now the villains, Alopex the Foot Ninja, and the thugs, they will win if it gets to the end of round 6. And with that, let's get stuck right in. Okay, so a few quick things that I'm going to go over just now before we really get started. You can see some squares have outlines on them. Yellow here, blue here, red, orange, black there as well, etc. So they're all different terrain features. So basically, the important ones that we have to go over straight away is the yellow terrain there. That is slow terrain. So when you move across a yellow line, you have to spend an extra point of movement to get across. So instead of costing 1 to get here, it costs 2. 1, 2. Now the blue ones here, that's elevation. So this gunner and this foot ninja, they're up on top of a train cart. So they're actually elevated and higher. You can draw a line of sight and everything to these. You can't draw a line of sight through it. So the turtles here cannot see this thug here. And if you're at the edge of an elevation there, to get on top, you need to spend 2 movement icons, which we'll get into later. Or basically for the minions, for the bad guys, they have to spend like the whole turn climbing up. And the other important thing is if you're like this, which normally would be adjacent, you don't count as being adjacent because you're upper level. And the other important one is these black bordered spaces, you're impassable terrain. So you cannot see through it, or move through it, or move into it. So the first thing that we have to do on any turn is roll out our hero dice. And those dice are these colored dice above each character. Now each one of these hero dice has a different symbol on every face, and each hero's dice is actually unique. And you can see exactly what faces each dice has by looking at the characters down here. Now, the first thing you do on a turn is roll all the dice for each character. Just going to roll them out quickly now. Line our dice up here. And the way you actually line your dice up is important. And we'll get into that a little bit later, but let's just talk first about some of the faces on the dice. Well, you look at Leonardo's dice because they've got some different icons on them. So this little skateboard here, that's movement. So if you spend this dice, Leonardo is able to move up to his move, which is that little foot icon there. So if he spends that one skateboard, he can move 3 spaces. Now the defense, as long as you have, for each extra shell that you have face up in your dice area or action area, you will add 1 to your defense rating. The defense rating is that little block symbol there. So Leonardo's got 3, but because he's got that shell face up, it'd actually be 4. Now the katana is an attack action. So he can spend that to make an attack. And when you spend an icon to make an attack, you get to roll attack dice equal to your attack rating there, which is that little fist. So he'd be rolling 1 attack dice to attack. So that's kind of the basics. The other ones that we do have here is, let's go check Donnie's dice here. He's got a little ninja star. So that's the same as attack, but you can make an attack from range. Now, there's another one here. So this little icon here is a focus icon. You can see that all of the turtles have focus. These little eye tokens are focus tokens, and you can see that Michelangelo starts with 2. Now, what focus does is you can spend a focus to re-roll as many dice as you want on any roll. You can also spend a focus to re-roll some of your action dice up there. And what the focus symbol does is as soon as you roll a focus, you can immediately replenish 1 focus. You can never have more focus than your focus rating though. And then you get to turn this to any side that you want. So these are pretty powerful. And in this case, I think we're going to turn it into a sword. We'll get into why we're going to do that a bit later. And then the other thing that you get to do is, if you're wounded, so if Michelangelo had lost some health, he was down, say, 1 health, you would get to roll one of these dice here. And then if you rolled a hit result, so one of those, or possibly a double hit, you get to replenish that many wounds. So it also heals you. So focus symbols are really great and allow you to fix the icons that you might need on a turn. So with that in mind, knowing that these dice actually give you actions, you can see that each character has 3 dice. Now you would think that that would mean that they could make 3 different actions every turn. But the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles are a team. They're a fighting ninja team. And the teamwork aspect of this game is that each Ninja Turtle has the 3 dice, access to the 3 dice in front of them, and they have access to the rightmost dice of the hero on their left. So in this case, Leonardo's sword. Michelangelo could use Leonardo's sword, and the leftmost dice of the character on their right. So in this case, Donatello would be lending that skateboard to Michelangelo. So in fact, Michelangelo has 5 dice to use. And that's the cool aspect, probably the coolest aspect of this game, especially when you're playing with multiple players. It's a real talking point and keeps you engaged every step of the way. It's really brilliant and really fun. So there's actually quite a bit of strategy at how you actually set up your dice at the beginning of the turn. Now, I've got one other thing to go over before we actually start. Now, you can actually combine the actions on your dice. So for instance, here is a good example here. If Michelangelo wanted to make an attack, he could make one attack with this katana and then a separate attack with this katana. So that'd be 2 single attacks of 1 dice. Or if he wanted to make one powerful attack, he could use this katana to get dice equal to his attack stat, so 1. And then for every other katana that he would have, that he has access to, so just say that this was another one as well, he could actually add 1 plus another 1 plus another 1. So he could make 1 dice, 1 attack with 3 dice, which is pretty sweet. Each turtle, depending on the mission, will get to start with an amount of special moves equal to their skill stat plus or minus something. So in this case, this scenario gives us all the turtles access to special moves equal to their skill minus 1. So for instance, Michelangelo is going to get 2 cards. Which are those ones there? So the first thing you have to do after you've rolled and allocated your dice is flip an initiative card. So let's flip a card and see how it goes. Ooh, so the first one is going to be Thug Brawlers. Now when you flip a card, all of the models in that villain group will get to activate. So that means every Thug Brawler here. And those Thug Brawlers are these ones here with the purple bandanas. Okay, so the first thing you need to check when you're activating a villain is, does that villain have line of sight? And you generally start with the closest ones. So this guy here is the closest. Does he have line of sight to one of the Ninja Turtles? Looks like he does have line of sight to Leonardo. As long as you can draw a line that touches any part of the square that he's standing in to any part of the square that the turtle's standing in, then they've got line of sight. Each villain will have 2 actions when they activate. So move once and then attack once, or attack twice. But you can never move more than once. So let's just quickly check the Thug Brawlers card. So you notice here, all of the characters have a similar card. They've got 2 health each, so once they've taken 2 damage, they die. 2 defense. That's how many hits they block when you attack them. Attack. That's how many hits they'll deal when they attack. And the movement is how many squares they'll move when they spend an action on moving. So now let's go back to Thug Brawler. Now we've seen that he's got a 3 movement. So what's he going to do? The first thing he's going to do with his first action is move towards the turtle that he can see, which is Leonardo. So he's going to move here, 1, and then he's going to move to here, but that's going to cost him 2 points because he's going over the yellow line. So that's going to be 1, 2, 3. And then he has another action left, but unfortunately he can't move again because you're never allowed to make more than 1 movement action. And he's only got a melee range of 1. So he can only attack characters in adjacent squares, which means he's not in range to attack anybody. So his turn's going to end there. Now we have to check the other thug brawlers. Do they have line of sight? This guy, he cannot see through an elevation. So he does not have line of sight. And then this thug brawler here, does he have line of sight? That's going to be an interesting one. He's here. Can we draw a line? You can see through your enemies. See, you can see through your friends. So I think he does just have line of sight to either Michelangelo or Donatello there. So he's going to move as well. And he's going to move 1, 2, 3. And then he's going to be done. So now let's flip another initiative card and see who's activating next. Michelangelo. Sweet. All right. See what Michelangelo can do. You'll notice that all of the characters have special abilities, which is pretty sweet. So Michelangelo's got unique ability only to him. And let's read that. Once per round during his turn, Mikey may move 1 space for free, ignoring all non-blocking terrain effects and breakaway rules. Terrain moves cost Mikey 1 less move icon. Right, so that basically boils down to that at any point in his movement, he can just move 1 space for free. And that can be even up on top of a train cart like that, which is pretty sweet. So he has 2 swords there, 2 skateboards, and 1 shield. The other thing we've got to check is our ability cards here. Now we can use one of these ability cards per turn, only one. And they each have a unique effect. But before you can activate the effect, you must pay the payment in the top left-hand corner here. So this one would cost Mikey 1 focus. And he's got 2 of them, so he could activate it. And this one would cost Mikey 1 of those icons. So in this case, 1 katana. So he'd pay that, and then he can activate this card. I'm just going to read over them and then come back and decide what I'm going to do. The first thing we're going to do is move. With that, he's going to go 1, 2, 3 and get into melee range of that thug there. Then we're going to activate this double chuck ability. So that's going to cost us 1 katana to activate. So we're going to spend that there. Now we do have access to another katana. We're going to use that now. So this says Mikey makes 2 attack plus 1 melee strikes. And we can spend an additional katana to get plus 1 dice for each katana we spend to both attacks. So basically, we're going to spend that other katana there. And that's going to allow us to make 2 attacks at 2 dice. Firstly, let's check the brawler's defense. He's got a defense of 2. So we need to roll 3 hits to do any damage to him. Pretty simple. So we've got 2 dice, and let's roll the first one. So that's going to be double defense. So it's going to do no damage. We could spend a focus on those little things there to re-roll all the dice, but I don't think it's worth it. Still got another attack, so we'll make another attack. So that's going to do 1 damage to him, because his 2 defense is going to negate 2 of the hits. Now, if we look at his card, he has 2 health. We're going to take this little pizza section here and place it next to him to remind us that we've done 1 damage to him. So normally, if you're adjacent to an enemy, if you want to move away from them, it'd cost you an extra movement point for every enemy that you're adjacent to. So if Mikey's here and he wants to move here, it's going to cost him normally 1, but 1, 2, because he's adjacent to one enemy. Now, we do have another movement icon that we can use, which is this one here. So we could easily do that, but we've also got Michelangelo's special ability. What we're going to do is use his once per game ability to disengage. Pop to here. I'll go to there actually. And then we can use the rest of his movement to move around to here. 1, 2, 3. And just stay there. And then we're going to check for initiative again. Go to the next person. So let's see what the initiative deck beholds. Foot Ninja. Okay, so all the Foot Ninja are going to activate now. So this guy here, he has line of sight to all of the turtles there. So he's going to try and attack the closest turtle. Now, he doesn't have enough movement to climb down off the edge of this train cart. So for enemies, it'll cost them 2 actions to climb up and down from an elevation. So he's not going to be able to climb down this turn. But what he's going to do is just move 1 to here. And then he can't attack because he's not adjacent, because he's elevated. And then just stand there and, yeah, climb down next turn or whatever. Way over here, he does have line of sight through here as well. So he's going to move 1, 2, 3 to here. And then all the other foot ninjas, which are all these ones here, I don't have line of sight, so they're just going to stand there. Now let's check the next initiative card. Leonardo. Alright, let's see what Leonardo can do. We're going to activate this card here. Probing attack. Doesn't actually cost us anything, but it does count towards the 1 card activation per turn. Basically what it means is while this card is active, Leo may re-roll his battle dice for free once per melee strike. So he just gets re-rolls, which is pretty sweet. The first thing we're going to do is use this movement from Mikey. We're going to go 1, 2, 3. We're going to spend our double ninja stars here. We borrowed off Raph. And we're going to make a range attack on this thug here. So range attack works exactly like melee attacks. The only difference is that the further away the enemy is, the less damage you'll do. So for the first 2 squares, 1, 2, you do full damage. For every square after that, you get a negative to your damage. So 3 squares, negative 1 damage, 4 squares, negative 2 damage, etc, etc. In this case, we're within optimal range, so we're not going to lose anything. And we've got 2 dice. Now, this probing attack, unfortunately, only lets us re-roll our melee strikes. Let's roll. See how we go. Ooh, within 2 hits. Now, he's got a 2 defense. So, I think it's worth spending a focus to re-roll one of these dice. Maybe we'll get lucky and get a double hit. No, we don't. So, fortunately, we don't do any damage. So, we've still got some movement points to spend and a katana. Now, unfortunately, the thug's got 2 defense and we've only got 1 dice. So, we can't roll more than 2 hits on 1 dice. So, there's no point in moving up and attacking him in melee because we just don't have enough damage output to hurt him. So, I think this is just probably a reposition turn. So, we're going to spend that other one there and Leo's going to move 1, 2, 3 to here. Alright, now let's check the initiative deck for the next activation. Raphael, sweet, all the turtles going early. Alright, so Raphael, he's a bit more damage output than the other turtles, which is pretty sweet. And we've got a lot of ninja stars here, so we're probably going to be able to take somebody out, let's hope. And of course, Leonardo's lent us that skateboard. So let's go ahead and move first. Now, we're going to go 1, 2, 3 to here. Now 1 katana to make a 2 dice attack on this thug. See if we can get a cheeky kill on him. Yes, we've done it. What a roll by Raph. That's easily enough to take him out. So, that's killed that thug, which is pretty great. Let's remove him. Now, that's perfect actually. So now we don't have any more movement left, but we do have a bunch of ninja stars. So, we're going to hoik a ninja star at that foot ninja, I think. So we're going to spend that and that. So that's 3 ninja stars. So the first ninja star is going to give us 2 attack, and then the other 2 are going to give us another one attack each. So it's going to be 4 dice. So we're going to throw a ninja star at that foot ninja there. Ooh, that's a stinky roll. Okay, so it's definitely worth using one of our focus to re-roll those 2 dice that didn't hit. Come on. And that's given us 3. So let's check the foot ninja's card. Now they have 2 defense and 2 health. So unfortunately we haven't quite killed it with that. But, you know, it's a start. I put this little pizza there to remind us that he's taken a wound. Okay, so now let's check the next initiative card. Alopex. Alright. Now Alopex is a leader, so they have 3 actions, and they've also got some abilities and stuff on their card. So let's check Alopex's card. She's got 4 movement, pretty swift, 2 attacks, 3 defense, so she's hard to hit, and 13 health. So way more health than the normal enemies. Now, the other thing that she's got is some pretty wild abilities. Alopex may perform 2 move actions per turn, so she's super quick. While moving, she ignores slow and elevated terrain. Wow, so she can just flip around everywhere. When Alopex is attacked, roll 1 battle die. If the result of this roll is a block, Alopex evades this attack. Wow. So she's really difficult to hit and incredibly maneuverable. But does she have line of sight to any of the turtles? And I don't think she does at this turn. So let's check the initiative deck again, see who's up next. Donatello. Okay, so we're in a little bit of a conundrum here. Donatello, unfortunately, is blocked off a little bit. You cannot move through other models, so that means that Donatello is kind of blocked off there. So I'm trying to think about what the best plan of action is. Maybe we just set up for next turn. Yeah, that's probably the best. Unfortunately, we're going to waste some dice here, but that's fine. We're just going to use his one movement icon that he has to go 1, 2, 3, and just sit right there. And then, fortunately, that's all we can really do. So let's flip another initiative card. All right, it's Thug Gunners. Okay, so we know that this Thug Gunner here has line of sight to all the turtles, so he'll definitely be activating. Whereas these two at the back, blocked by that train cart, so he can't see, and this guy is also blocked by the train cart, so he can't see either. So it's just going to be this Thug Gunner activating. So the first thing that ranged enemies will do, they'll check for optimal range. Now normally optimal range is within 2 spaces, but the Thug Gunners, if you notice on the card, just down the end here it says, Thug Gunnery range strikes do not weaken for the first 4 spaces, which means they're within optimal range if they're within 4. So all of the turtles are within optimal. So if there are multiple targets within the same range, you look at this little icon down here, and the Thug Gunners will always attack the character with the highest health if there's a tie. So if we look here, all the turtles within optimal range, which means it's going to target the turtle with the highest health. And if we look at the health here, Raphael 13, Donnie 11, Mikey and Leo 12. So he's going to target Raphael. Now, when the enemies attack, you never roll dice. The turtle that's defending rolls their defense, and they have to block the amount of damage that they inflict. So in this case, the Thug Gunners inflict 1 damage. Now they've got a special rule that for every other Thug Gunner that has line of sight to that hero, they inflict another +1 damage. So if all 3 of the Thug Gunners could see Raphael, they'll be doing 3 damage. But in this case, only one of them can see, so it's just 1 damage. Now we have to check Raphael's defense. He's got a defense of 3, so that's 3 dice. And you can see here he's got a shield face up, which means it's going to be 4 dice and 1 attack. And that'll do it. So Raphael is not going to take any damage, and the Thug Gunners are done. So now we're going to check initiative again for the next one, which is the last one. And of course, it's the Thug Brawlers. So normally there's only 1 initiative card in here, but the Thug Brawlers special thing is that they get to have 2 initiative cards in the stack. So let's have a look at the Thug Brawlers. Now one of them died, so he can't activate. This guy here definitely can. So he can see Raphael there. So he's probably just going to move and then attack Raphael. 1, 2, 3. And then he's going to attack Raphael. So we just figured out that Raphael has 4 dice. Now let's look at the Thug Brawlers damage. They do 1 damage. Raphael's defending 4 dice against the Thug Brawler. And he gets it. So no damage. And that is the Thug Brawler done. In fact, that's the whole turn done. So now what we do at the end of the turn is we take this, reshuffle it, and we move this down to turn 2. So I'll come back with turn 2. Alrighty, so we're back for turn 2. We've shuffled up the deck. First thing we need to do is roll out our action dice. So if we roll any focuses, I'll apply it immediately, but we'll decide what to change it to later. So Leo, he did lose a focus. So we're going to replenish that straight away. And if he had lost any wounds, we'd heal, but he hasn't. Now for Michelangelo, same thing. He hasn't lost any wounds, and he doesn't have to replenish any focus. Donatello, same thing with Donatello. Raphael, wow, 2 focuses. Man, this is going to be a big turn. All right, I'll come back with how I've set up my dice. Raphael's roll double focus, so we're going to replenish his final focus. We're going to have a huge melee attack set up with Leonardo. Michelangelo's lending him some movement. Mikey's got a bit of everything. Donnie's got a bit of everything too, some movement. And Raphael's going to have a huge shooting attack lined up. Alright, so flipping first initiative card for turn 2. And it's Leonardo. Alright, let's see what Leonardo can do. Okay, so I've decided what I'm going to do with Leonardo. The first thing he is going to do is make a ranged attack. And we are going to throw Ninja Star up at this thug gunner. So let's go ahead and do that. He's just going to have 2 attack dice. And fails to do any damage. Now what we're going to do is we are going to spend these 2 movement icons, and that will allow us to climb an elevation. So we could either go to this space here or this space here. And we're going to go to this space here because we want to be adjacent to both these guys, possibly take them both out. And the next thing we're going to do is do this awesome move called double slash. So it's going to be pretty costly, but that's fine. And what it does is that Leo makes an attack +4 melee strike. So I'm going to spend 1 focus and then 2 katanas to do that. So that's going to give us melee of 1 +4, so 5 dice attack. And it's going to be against this foot ninja here. And that's a huge amount of damage. That foot ninja is toast. He's been sliced in 2. So well done, Leo. He manages to take this foot ninja out quite easily. But he's not done there. He's still got some more melee attacks to make. So we're just going to combine these last 2 action dice into another attack. So it's going to be 1 3-dice attack. And this time we're going to make it on this thug gunner here. Alright, so that's not quite enough to kill the thug gunner. So I think we're going to spend another focus. I'm going to re-roll these 2 dice. Come on. And that's enough to take that thug gunner down. So well done, Leonardo. He's taken that one out as well. Now let's flip the next initiative card. The thug gunners. Alright, now let's have a look where they are. So the way it works with elevation and line of sight is you can see from the low ground onto the high ground, but only if you're on the edge. So this thug gunner here unfortunately does not have line of sight to Leonardo, nor does this thug gunner, because it passes through a space of elevation before it gets to him. So neither of them have line of sight to anybody there, so they're just going to hang around again. Alright, next initiative card, turn 2. Oh, foot ninja. Let's have a look at the foot ninja situation. So, first thing that's going to happen is this foot ninja here, he can see Leo, but there's a bit of a bottleneck there and he can't get past that thug brawler. So he's going to try and move. Now I think what he would do is probably climb on top of this train cart here. So what he's going to do is spend his whole turn climbing to here. And the other 2 do not have line of sight to us. So they just stay there and do nothing. They're just guarding Alopex, you know, most important of ninjas. Alright, flip another initiative card. See who it is, Raphael. Alright, see what Raphael's going to do. Okay, so Raphael's got a bunch of range attacks that he can do here. Unfortunately, he's engaged with that thug brawler, and you cannot shoot anybody that's engaged with you. So we need to either move away from him or get rid of him first. I think we're going to try and get rid of him first by making a melee attack. So that's 2 katanas, so it's going to give us 2 dice plus 1, so 3 dice attack against that thug brawler there. Oh, that's a horrible roll. We're going to definitely spend a focus to re-roll all of those. Come on, Leo. Sorry, come on, Raphael. Oh, it's a bit better, but unfortunately not enough. He only had 1 health left too. Unfortunately, that's enough to do it. So that was unfortunate. We did not do enough damage to kill him. And we cannot see this foot ninja here because of this unpassable terrain feature. So I think we're going to have to disengage. Now luckily we do have quite a bit of movement that we can use here. I'm going to use the first skateboard to get out of dodge. So he's going to go 1, 2 to get to there, and then 3. Now we still have one more movement icon left, so we are going to use that. I'm going to borrow that off Donatello, and he's going to go 1, 2 to here. Now we are not adjacent because he's on an elevation, so what we're going to do is we're going to hurl some ninja stars at that there foot ninja on the train. Just a quick little note, we could do this ability here, hurl Psi, for 2 ninja stars, but I don't think it's worth it, and I'll tell you why. Most of these abilities allow you to spend extra icons to get extra dice to do extra damage. But unfortunately this one says, use only when there are no adjacent enemies to rough. And, you know, there isn't. But the thing about this is it says, Raph makes an attack +3 range strike that does not weaken for the first 4 spaces. That's super cool. But he's only 1 space away from us, so the bottom ability doesn't matter, and it doesn't allow us to stack more dice to make this a larger attack. So I think it's just better for us to put all of those ninja stars into one huge attack. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 dice against the foot ninja. So let's go ahead and roll that. Oh man, that's so much damage. That foot ninja has just been skewered. Bye bye foot ninja. So you, my friend, have been taken out by Angry Raph. Well done. Next initiative card is Alopex. Right. Let's check Alopex. Now, Alopex still doesn't look like she has line of sight. Now, bear in mind, guys, this is the first mission. So it's a bit of a training mission. It's not that hard to succeed, and you can see how the terrain's set up, that they've specifically designed it so that you don't just get overwhelmed straight away. The other thing that doesn't happen in this mission is usually the enemies will respawn from spawn points at the end of every turn or the beginning of every turn. But this one specifically says that they don't respawn. But yeah, it's a training mission. It'll get harder for sure. So Alopex activates, and you know, she's just chilling there and she can't see anybody, so she's not going to attack anybody. Alright, next initiative card is Michelangelo, my favourite Ninja Turtle. Alright, buddy, what are you going to do? I'll come back when I've had a bit of a think. Okay, let's have some fun. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to trigger Michelangelo's special move to just pop up to here without any cost. Now, Michelangelo, in true Michelangelo style, is just going to kickflip off the edge of that train car and barrel into this brawler and just start going ham. So what we're going to do is we're going to spend that double movement icon. So it's going to give us access to 8 movement, which is going to be plenty enough for what we want to do. I'm going to go 1 and then 2 down to here. And you don't get to keep movement icons that you don't use. That's 1 dice, so we have to spend it and then use it at one time. So unfortunately, if we attack these guys and kill them, we can't then use that extra movement icon on that dice to move again. So when you jump off an elevation, you actually take 4 dice worth of damage. So let's roll, see how many damage that Mikey's going to take. Then we can defend against it without defense. And in this case, Mikey's got defense of 3 plus an extra 1, plus an extra 2 actually, because Donatello gives us that. So he's got 5 defense against this. So let's see how many hits Mikey's going to take from jumping off the edge of this train car. It's going to be 3 damage. Now, as discussed before, we have 5 dice to defend against this. So Mikey's got 2. So he's going to take 1 damage from that, which isn't too bad. So Mikey's going to go down to 11. Alright, so that's got us in position to attack both of these guys if we want. And it might be time for another double chuck. What do you think? Got to spend 1 to activate it. So we spend 1 sword here to activate it, which is going to give us 2 attack at +1 die. So it's going to be 2 attack 2. And now we can spend these to buff it up. So it's going to be 2 attack 4. So 2 attacks at 4 dice. First one we're going to level on this brawler here. See how that goes. And that's going to do 1 damage to him. Do we want to spend a focus to re-roll some of those dice? Yes, we will spend 1 focus to re-roll these 2 dice. Try and take this brawler down. And that's enough, easily. This guy goes down. Well done, Mikey. Bangs. Takes him out. Now, the second half of the double chuck move. And that's enough to do it. So Michelangelo has also taken this thug gunner out. Well done. What a champion he is. So next initiative card for turn 2. The Thug Brawlers. What's left of them? There is 1 left, because Michelangelo took the other one out. So he is not adjacent to anybody, which means the first thing he has to do is move. Now, he's going to move and attack Donatello because he can't see Raphael. So it's going to cost him 2 to get to there because he's crossing the yellow line. And then Donatello's going to defend against 1 attack worth of damage. Defense, which is 4, and he's got another defense here, so he's got 5 dice to defend. Oh, and he's failed, so that's fine. So Donatello's going to take 1 point of damage from that Thug Brawler, which is totally fine. And the next initiative card for turn 2 is Thug Brawlers again. They have 2 actions, and he's already in melee range, so he's just going to attack twice. So Thug Brawler attacking Donatello. And easily defends the first one. And then his second action, he's going to attack again. Easily defends against the second one. Just have the last card, which should be Donatello. And there he is. So Donatello's up now. Okay, so this is going to be a pretty simple turn. Well, maybe not. Yes, it's going to be a pretty simple turn. We're going to smash that thug. It's in melee with us, with all of our dice. And then we're going to move. So let's do that first. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3 katanas. So it's going to be a 3 dice attack against that thug. And he's done enough to take him out because he's already taken 1 damage. He's removed. Now, we've got 2 movement icons there. So we're going to use them to move around a little bit. First one, 1, 2, 3 to there. The second one, 1, 2, 3 to here. And that is the end of turn 2. Now I'm going to tick this down to turn 3 before we forget. And we're going to reshuffle this. And I'm quickly just going to go over 1 rule here that Donatello's got, which is pretty sweet. At the end of each round, Donnie may either regain 1 focus or give 1 of his focus to another friendly hero of his choice. So Donatello's already on his maximum, so we're going to hand out focus to somebody. And I think it might be best to hand it to Leo. So we're going to hand 1 to Leo. So in turn 3, there's definitely going to be some action from Alopex, because she's got line of sight to 2 of the turtles now. So it's going to be an interesting one. Can the turtles knock her out before turn 6? Let's find out. Okay, so let's roll these dice out for the turtles. We want focuses here. Would be ideal. Nothing so far. Alright, Donnie, what are you going to do? Ooh, alright, this is a strange roll. Maybe the turn that we didn't want. Okay, so Raph's got 1 focus symbol there, and he is down a focus, so we are going to regenerate 1. And he's on maximum health, so there's no need to heal. Alright, I'm just going to do a bit of thinking, and then I'll come back with the dice lineup. Alright, so this is how we've set up our dice. Now, I did think about using Leonardo's leader ability here, but I decided against it in the end. And it is, after an action die are rolled, and any rerolls are made, Leo may trade 1 action die belonging to 1 friendly with another one. So basically, the problem I had with this one is that we didn't have many movement icons, but we were able to spread them out enough to get everybody a little bit of movement. And really, what we want is Alopex to come to us this turn, and then just pound her. So that's what we did. First initiative card for turn 3, and it's going to be Donatello. So what have you got, Donatello? You've got 1 movement icon and a bunch of swords. Okay, so we're going to use that movement icon. I'm going to move Donatello. 1, 1, 2 to here. And then we're going to smack that guy with a bunch of swords. We're going to use all of them. So 1, 2, 3 dice. Ugh, that's a horrible, horrible roll. Now, Donatello regenerates his focus, so let's use one to re-roll those 2 bad dice. These 2 dice, we're going to re-roll them. Come on. It's not really any better. So that's going to amount to absolutely nothing. So that didn't go particularly well. We probably could have used one of our special moves there, but oh well. So now let's flip the next initiative card for turn 3. And it's going to be the Thug Brawlers. And you know what? There's none left on the table. So what you're actually meant to do is take them out of the deck. But we'll just flip another one. Ooh, Alopex. Okay, so this is going to get pretty nasty pretty quick. Let's see what she can do. Now, she cannot see Donatello there. She's going to go straight for Michelangelo. Okay, so Alopex is going to activate. She can go 1, 2, 3, 4. Get right in there, because she ignores all of this terrain penalties, because she's awesome. So she can get into combat with Michelangelo in one action, which means the next 2 actions she can use to attack. And she's got a 2 attack, so Michelangelo's got to defend against 2 attack. Let's check his defense. So he has 1, 2 extra, so it's going to be 5 defense dice. Okay, so Michelangelo's going to take 1 damage from that. So he's going to go down to 10. So the second attack for Alopex. Come on, Mikey. And he's done it. 2 defense there, so he doesn't take any from the second attack, which is pretty great. So Michelangelo escapes pretty much unscathed. And the next initiative card for turn 3 is Thug Gunner. Okay, so the Thug Gunner is right there. Now, he can't shoot Donatello. Does he have anybody else in optimal range? Now remember, for the Gunners, the optimal range is within 4. So he cannot see Leo, he cannot see Raph, but he can see Michelangelo. And Michelangelo's within optimal range, which means he's going to shoot at Michelangelo twice. So Mikey's got 5 defense dice, as we just discussed before. Ooh, yes, and he's got 2, so easily. And now the next one. Oh, that's another 2, so quite easily defended. Well done, Mikey. So now the initiative card, next initiative card for turn 3 is Leonardo. What are you going to do, Leonardo? Okay, so decided what we're going to do with Leonardo. The first thing we can do is move. Now, he's going to follow the example of Michelangelo and just jump off the edge of this train car. And you know what's the worst that could happen? So he's going to go 1, 2 to here. Now, let's see how much damage Leonardo might take from jumping off that train cart. This is how much damage Leonardo takes from jumping off the train cart. It's 4 damage. Ouch. Now Leo's only got 3 defense dice. So Leo defending. Wow, he's defended 3. So he actually takes 1 damage from that. That was pretty lucky. So Leo, Michelangelo style, just jumps off that train cart and lands right in front of Alopex. Now, we're going to do awesome stuff. What Leonardo's going to do is he's going to do his double slash. And we're going to hit Alopex with hopefully a big hit. So, we're going to spend 2 swords, which is there, and 1 focus. Now we're going to add the other 2 swords, that one as well, to it. So it's going to be a pretty big attack. Let's just work that out. So it's an attack plus 6. So 7 dice. Now, the one thing about Alopex is, if she rolls a defense on this dice, she avoids getting hit and doesn't take any damage. So please don't dodge it. Oh, and she's done it. Which means there's no real point in rolling, which is so unfortunate because I really wanted to roll 7 dice. So Leonardo actually does have a couple of ninja stars there, and what he's going to do, he's going to try and shoot down this gunner here. Probably won't do anything, but let's give it a go. And yeah, that's done nothing. Next initiative card for turn 3. And that is Raphael. What can you do, my friend? Okay, so I really screwed this up. This is where I should have used Leonardo's ability and given Raphael some more movement. So Raphael's here, and he doesn't have access to 2 movement icons, so he cannot climb. He's only got access to 1 movement icon, which means really the best thing you can do is try and reposition. So he's just going to go 1, 2 to here. He can't even get to there because it's another crossing the yellow line again. So yeah, that's it. Raphael's done. Unfortunately, he cannot do anything else. He's out of range. He doesn't have any targets. So yeah, that's it. Disappointing turn. Alright, next initiative card for turn 3 will be the Thug Brawlers, which are all dead. We know that, so let's go to the next one. The Foot Ninja. Okay. So these 2 Foot Ninja here. Now they do have line of sight. Now this one here does not have line of sight to Donnie. And this one here does not have line of sight to Leonardo. This one here does have line of sight to Michelangelo, I think. Yeah, he does. So he's going to try and get to Michelangelo. So 1, 2, 3. Doesn't make it in. And his second movement, 1, and then 2, 3. So the thing that it does say in the book is that they do try and pile in as well as they can. Make room for the others behind them. So he will go to there. He doesn't get to attack this turn, but he will definitely get to attack next turn. So now this guy, he has line of sight to Leo. So he's probably going to try and get into Leo, but he won't be able to because it's all blocked off. So he's going to go for Michelangelo as well. It's going to be 1, 2, 3. And now he can make his second action to attack Mikey. So let's do that. Michelangelo has a bunch of defense, 5 defense. Ooh, he hasn't rolled anything there. Do we spend our last? No, we don't worry about it. So Mikey's going to take 2 damage. That hurts, down to 8. That's fine. Got plenty left. Last initiative card for turn 3, and it is Michelangelo. Okay, so there's his dice. Now I think the best thing to do is to make a double chuck attack. Now really the question is, do we want to clear those Foot Ninja out, or do we just want to try and hit Alopex? I think we're going to have enough time to take Alopex down. We've still got 3 more turns. So let's try and take those Foot Ninja down. So Michelangelo is going to use his double chuck. That's going to cost him 1, and then we're going to add another 2 to it. Plenty of damage. Well, that's just enough to take that Foot Ninja down. So he brains this Foot Ninja, and then he's going to put his second double chuck attack into this Foot Ninja. Mikey's on fire. Wow. Well done. He smacks this guy in the head, brains him, and he's gone too. So really now it's just Alopex and the Turtles. Raphael back here. Alright, so that's the end of that turn. The last thing that happens at the end of the turn is that Donatello gets to replenish or move a focus. So we're just going to replenish one because everybody else has got focus, which is fine. Alright, so here we are in turn 4. We're going to roll out character dice. Excellent. So we've rolled a focus. So we're going to replenish 1 focus, and he's damaged. And we're going to heal 0, which is fine. Now, Michelangelo. Wow, a lot of movement. We don't need that right now. However, that is going to replenish Michelangelo with a focus. And we're going to heal 1. So Mikey goes back to 9, which is pretty sweet. Now Donatello. Not too bad. And Raphael. Okay, so I am back now. I've figured out how to put the dice. Now we are going to use Leonardo's ability this time. I'm going to swap a couple of dice around. So Raphael is all the way back here, and he needs to try and kill Alopex. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this dice here of Michelangelo's, and we're going to swap it with this one of Raphael's. So it's going to look like that, just to give Raphael a heap more movement. So let's see who activates first. It's going to be the Lone Thug Gunner. Now, he is going to shoot Leonardo this time. He can't shoot Donatello because he's engaged with him, but he can shoot Leonardo. So Leonardo's going to make 2 defense rolls. And let's have a look how much defense he has. Doesn't have any extra, so he's just got 3 dice to defend, 1 damage. Leonardo blocks it easily. Second attack. And he blocks it again. Well done, Leo. Next initiative card for turn 4 is going to be Alopex. Alright. What are you going to do, Alopex? Now, Alopex is already engaged with 2 turtles. So now we have to check who she favours. Let's have a look at our card. So right there it says lowest health, which means I think that's going to be Michelangelo. Yep, Leonardo's got 11, Michelangelo's got 9. Now how much defense does Michelangelo have? He has an extra one there from Donnie, which is great. So he's going to have 4 defense. Now Alopex has 3 actions, so she's just going to attack Michelangelo 3 times. Let's cross our fingers and hope that Michelangelo doesn't go down. Let's do this. First attack. Okay, so he defends 1, so he's going to take 1. That's fine. He goes down to 8. Next attack. He defends 1, so he's going to take 1 again. Goes down to 7. Now last attack. Come on, Mikey. And he's defended another 1. Do we want to use a focus? We've got 2, so we might as well. Let's use a focus to re-roll all of these. And, well, he's easily done that, so he doesn't take any more damage. And that is Alopex done. Alright, and the next initiative card for turn 4. Donatello. Alright, so Donatello's over here next to that Thug Gunner, and we should probably try and take him out first. Alrighty, so I've decided what I'm going to do with Donatello. We're going to use his pole kick. Basically, this is going to let us reposition and still beat up that Thug Gunner. Maybe we should just go for Alopex. Yeah, I think we'll just go for Alopex. So this says it's going to cost us a skateboard and a katana. And Donnie leaps up to 3 spaces in a straight line, and then he may make an attack +3 melee strike, and we can add extra katanas to get more damage. So that's going to cost us those 2, and then we're going to add another 2. So he's going to make a melee attack +5, so 6 dice, and we're going to move 3 spaces, up to 3 spaces, so 1, 2 to here, and then we're going to punch Alopex. Because I don't really think that Thug Gun is going to do much, so I think we're better off just trying to kill Alopex at this stage. So let's do that now. Well, actually, first let's see if she dodges it. Don't roll a shield. She hasn't. Ooh, that's a nice roll. And you know what? Let's spend one of our focus. We've got enough, and he regenerates them to try and get every bit of damage we can. So we're going to re-roll these 2. It's going to give us 1 more. And Alopex has 3 defense, so she's going to take 4 damage off her 13 health. Go down to 9. That was a good hit. The next initiative card for turn 3 is Raphael. The loner that he is, all the way at the back. Okay, so we've got a bunch of movement icons, so we're going to be able to reposition him pretty well, which is great. So we've got 6 movement icons there, so let's just go ahead and move him first. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Finish here. And then we're going to spend a bunch of dice to try and take that last gunner out. So Raphael's going to spend 1, 2, 3 swords. So it's going to give us 4 dice because Raphael has a base attack of 2. Oh, that's an awful roll. Right. He has a bunch of focus. So we're going to spend this focus and re-roll all of those dice because that was terrible. Come on, Raphael. You're angry. That's more like it. He's tapped into that inner rage. And that's able to take out this Thug Gunner. So it's just the Turtles and Alopex left. Next initiative card for turn 3 is Leonardo. Alright, buddy, what can you do? So, what Leonardo's going to do is make this double slash again. Now, there's no reason for him to move. So, yeah, we're just going to hurl a massive attack into Alopex and just hope she doesn't dodge it. 7 dice against Alopex. Now, of course, Alopex has that annoying dodge, so let's see if she dodges it. Damn it, she does dodge it. She always seems to dodge Leonardo's attack. Alright, well that's a shame. Final initiative card for turn 3, 4. And it's going to be Michelangelo. All right, Mikey, you got to do some work here. Now, Mikey does not have the best options. He's only got access to 2 katanas. And Alopex has a 3 defense. But we'll see what we can do. So he's going to activate Double Chuck, which is going to give him 2 attacks at 3 dice. So the first attack, does Alopex dodge it? She does not. Basically roll perfectly here. Come on. And unfortunately she dodged it. And I don't think it's worth spending a focus for that. Does Alopex dodge the second attack? She does. So no need to roll. Alright, so that's the end of the turn. So it's going to turn 5 now. It's getting close to the end. Can we defeat Alopex? I think we can, but it's going to be tight. So let's get into the next turn. Okay, so the end of that turn, Donatello's going to regenerate another one. And now we're going to roll these dice for the beginning of turn 5. So firstly, Leonardo. Wow, we do need swords, but not ideal. Whoops. Like that. Okay. So that's going to allow Michelangelo to heal 1 wound, which is great because he's pretty wounded. And we can change that to anything we want. Not the best. Finally, Raphael. Okay, not the worst. And he's not wounded, but replenishing our focus is important. Okay, so this is how we set our dice out. Just lots and lots and lots of attack. We just need to make sure that Raphael's at least got 1 movement icon so we can get around behind Alopex. But apart from that, we just want attacks. So that's what we've done. Now, flipping the first initiative card for turn 5. It's going to be Alopex. Alright, well, I guess we get her out of the way straight away. Now, we already know that she is just going to attack Michelangelo 3 times because he has the lowest health. Let's have a look at how it's set up. So he's going to have 4 defense because he's got 1 from Donatello there. So, yeah, Alopex attacking Michelangelo. He's going to take 1 damage. I think that's acceptable. Second attack. It's another 1 damage. I think that's also acceptable. Down to 6 now, getting pretty low. Alright. And... alright, that's unacceptable. So we will spend 1 to re-roll all of these dice. And another damage. So Mikey's down to 5. Well, it's starting to hurt. We might need to get Michelangelo out of dodge. Next initiative card for turn 5. And it's going to be Leonardo. Alright. So Leonardo has access to 5 sword icons there. Okay, so I have to think about it. I still think it's just better to go for 1 big attack. Let's just hope Alopex doesn't dodge it. So we're going to use our last focus and all of our dice to do 1 8 dice attack against Alopex. Now, does she dodge it? Please don't dodge it. She does not. Okay, so an 8 dice attack against Alopex. So that's a lot of damage. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 8 damage. She's got 4 defense. So 3 defense. So that's going to be 5 damage. So she goes down to 4 health left. We are very close to winning this scenario. Next initiative card for turn 5 is Donatello. Okay, so Donatello's right there next to Alopex already. So we're going to just activate our pole kick again. Which is going to spend this and this, which is going to leave us with 1 more katana, which means we can do an attack plus 4. So it's going to be a 5 dice attack. And let's see if Alopex dodges the attack. Don't do it. She does not. 4 damage. Which is not quite enough. You know what? Donatello's got focus to spare. So we're going to spend 1 to just re-roll that shield. We might get another hit. We do. Which means Alopex is at 3 defense. He's going to go down to 1. She can take 3 damage from that. Well done, Donatello. Now let's hope that Raphael and Michelangelo can finish her off. And the next initiative card for turn 5 is Raphael. Alright, buddy. Let's get angry. So this is a pretty simple turn. We're going to use his 1 movement icon to move 1, 2 to here. And then we're going to spend all of our dice to try and attack Alopex. It will be a 5 dice attack. But first, we have to see if Alopex dodges. She does not. This could be her end. So Raphael attacking Alopex for the win. Come on. Oh, it's terrible. Raphael does have a bunch of focus, so we're going to use one and reroll all the bad dice, which is all 4 of these. Alright, come on, Raphael. Oh no, and he's failed to do it. We needed one more hit there. Wow, what a shame. And of course, the last initiative card we know is Michelangelo. So he is just going to attack her. And he's got 4 dice to do it with. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so let's see if she dodges it. That's a pretty bad tilt, so we'll reroll that. Let's see if she dodges it. She does not. So 4 dice against Alopex for the win this time. Alright, 4 dice against Alopex. We need to roll 4 hits here to do it. 4 hits. Oh, so close. Okay. He's got a focus. We're going to spend that to reroll these 2 shields. Right, just 1 hit on 2 dice. And Michelangelo's done it. Alopex will go down, not to 20, to 0. She's been defeated. And the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles are victorious. Just a quick little thing about the missions. They're pretty cool. So it's not really like an experience-based game, but it is a campaign-based game. So basically, because we won, we interrupt the training session, but she manages to break away with a handful of recruits and escape into the subway. So we proceed to the next scenario. If the villains had won, then we would proceed to the next scenario, but there'd be more foot ninjas. So yeah, because we didn't lose, the next scenario is going to be at normal difficulty instead of hard mode. So yes, the Ninja Turtles do manage to knock out Alopex, and she runs off to go and teach the foot ninja more tricks. And the Turtles are victorious for that one. So I really hope you enjoyed that, guys. I had a lot of fun playing it, and I'm going to play some more scenarios. If you do like this kind of content, more board game style stuff, then please leave us a comment, give us a like. Of course, subscribe to the YouTube channel. There's plenty of other stuff there to have a look at as well. But yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed this, and I'm going to do more regardless. But yeah, please, if you liked it, let us know about it. And there's a bunch more enemies and some more characters as well. There's Casey Jones that I can paint up for this one. Later on we've got some Mousers and some other enemies. But yeah, there's a whole other box that I have as well. So, you know, if it's popular, I'll paint everything up. There'll be Shredder and Splinter and April O'Neil. Yeah, the whole deal in the other box. So yeah, please let me know if you like it. Thank you very much for watching as always. And yeah, hopefully see you in the next one. Bye for now. These models are so cool, right? Look at that. Look at Raph there. He's just so angry. I love it. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Turtles in a half shell. Turtle power. Cowabunga. Rock on, everybody. See you next time.